assurance in their faith in Christ Jesus. So it means if a man serves well as a leader, he earns an excellent standing. Last Friday, we have our cell group. And of course, the Raptors, on Thursday, they won the first game, right? Against the Golden State Warriors. I came to our cell group, I'm wearing the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry. And some people say, boo. Can you imagine seeing me there? They are all in the high spirit that they are, we are all. I'm not actually Golden State, but I just wear that as Stephen Curry. You can see that. Some of them said, the other said, Pastor naman, pati yun ang sinuot mo. Why did you wear this uniform? I just want, even when I'm walking outside and people looking at me and smile at me, because almost all the GPA, all the people in Canada, they are all cheering, they are all like, yes, go Raps, go Raps. And then wearing a Golden State uniform, you are like very, people in become so negative. They are naive, alright? The same thing in here. We must have an excellent standing if we are looking to become a leader, because there is a great honor in being selected as a model for God's people. The danger arrives when a leader wants all of the honor without taking up the responsibility. Okay, without the responsibility. It's working now. Okay. Please. Okay. Thank you. Yes, natutulong yung ating operatory. Okay, there's a great honor without taking all the responsibility. So we as Christians, we like it or not, we will be leaders. In your workplace, probably in your family, especially those who are talking here, especially in every local church, God is looking for leaders. God is choosing leaders in our youth ministry, in our couples ministry, in our music ministry, all of you. But there's a great honor to be selected because the way you view God will eventually show up in the way you live your life. That is as Charles Haddon Spurgeon. It is true. The way you view God will eventually show up in the way you live your life. The way we believe in God, we follow the Lord, it reflects to other people and to other people. So that's number one. This after a place of leadership is a place of honor. It is not ourselves. It is the Lord who called us. Now, number two. A place of leadership is a place of great responsibility. Once we accepted and obey as a leader, there is always a great responsibility. This morning, we announced again another 2 pregnant moms. And then 2 weeks ago, one of the moms delivered a baby. And there is like a 2 or 3, the upcoming baby in a few weeks or months. There are lots of baby. There's a responsibility for the parents, not only just like having a baby. The same thing is in leadership. As a parent, we are not just like being like a parent, there's always like a responsibility. And this is cost of leadership. A person whose useful asset is not a head full of knowledge, but a heart full of love, an ear ready to listen and a hand willing to help others. And that's responsibility. A person must useful asset. It doesn't mean you are so brilliant, you're already a leader, no. You may be a brilliant person, but you may not be a leader. You may have like probably a lot of talent, or probably you will be a good public speaker, but you may not be a leader because God chose the leader. Because you are not responsible. It means a place of leadership is a place of great responsibility. I know there are lots of people who are qualified, but they are not responsible. So it means they are not a good leader. There's a cost of leadership. For the next generation of God's people in the age of the Promised Land, there was never a bigger crisis of leadership. They have 12 leaders. I'm sure there are so many leaders that will follow their footsteps. But be careful. All 12 of these leaders were courageous. And all 12 took courageous actions in the beginning. But what happened? When we followed in the text, they slipped into the land of the enemy and managed to leave them a dangerous place. All the 12 came home safely, but the entire doesn't completed the first portion of the task given to them. But they had been good spies. They had full reports, what they have seen. However, look at here, the responsibility of this group was not simply to spy out the land. They were not chosen to be geologists, real estate agents, or agricultural surveyors. They were chosen to be leaders of God's people, charged with giving God's people God's message. It means whatever godly leaders are charged to do, eventually, their responsibility is to be a faith-driven leaders. What God wants looking for these 12 is to have their faith in God. The same thing like us. The leaders of this church, and probably you are also aspiring to become a leader of the church, or to become a leader. It must be a faith-driven life. Because a lot of people today, I mean, we can read it all together, all right? Some of you already close your eyes. Are you already sleepy? Okay? A lot of people ready? Everybody? So you can also preach to each other. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
A lot of people in church today have been Christianized, assimilated to the church culture, but have never been evangelized, confronted the gospel and the tribulations. No wonder there is no spiritual growth. They have not been impregnated with the imperishable seed of the Lord. The Word is a seed, and it is imperishable. It cannot die, but can only produce some good soil. That means there must be growth and fruit.
Amen. One of the greatest responsibility of the church leader is to make sure that every member or every church member in the community are believers of the Lord Jesus Christ, assured of their salvation, not assumption. Because right now, not only here, in many churches, people like today, they are like Christian, but they are assimilated to the church culture. They never been evangelized. Oh, I like the music. I like the young people's ministry. I like the couples ministry. They just in without experiencing, but confronted with the gospel and the claim of Christ. And that's why there is no spiritual growth. And that person is not growing because the sin is not in that heart first. And very dangerous. And that's why every person must understand it, the spiritual growth, because the word is a seed. It is imperishable, it cannot die, but it can only produce a good soil. But if the fruit is real, then it's genuine, it will grow. You will see the fruit. So it means that's the main responsibility of the leader, that everyone will experience the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. A place of leadership is a place of tremendous responsibility for leaders, faith in a public display. Because the responsibility of a leader is to live in that faith is a great weight. It's a great weight. People will see you, probably in your workplace. God and people looking at you. And we must display our lives like as a believer of the Lord Jesus Christ. Let's go to number 3, the effective leaders. that an effective leader does not let problems stop the promise. When the 10 spies reported, is that problem stop them to go? No. They followed. So when the people listened to the 10 frightened spies who have made the case so fear instead of the two leaders calling them toward faith, God wanted to destroy them all. Had God done so, the entire exodus from Egypt would have never been wasted? No. The promise of the promised land would be delayed by centuries, but the nation of God's people would be destroyed, and God's reputation, therefore, it will be greatly damaged. There's a problem, yes, but Moses made his best case before God, desperately trying to toward of a deadly righteous anger, but amazingly, God relented. Instead of destroying the nation, God can only destroy a generation 40 years later, but Joshua and Caleb would lead the children, even the grandchildren of this experience, into the promised land. They will do so only because Moses did his best, not let the problem stop the promise. If Moses was affected because of the people's grumbling, complaining, and everything, I'm sure they will not enter into the promised land. So if you're going to lead, you better comprehend the truth. There will always be problems along the way, for sure. But the problem come and the problems go. Moses might put it this way. Today they complain about manna, okay, the bread. But tomorrow they complain about quail. Sabi nga,